Look up at the night sky. It's vast, beautiful, and completely, utterly silent. From our tiny blue marble, the cosmos seems like an infinite playground of glowing stars and endless possibilities. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old, containing hundreds of billions of galaxies, each packed with stars. And in our Milky Way alone, there are billions of planets sitting right in the habitable zone, with liquid water. By all logical calculations, the cosmos should be absolutely teeming with advanced alien life right now. We should be seeing massive megastructures, like Dyson spheres, blocking out the light of distant stars to harvest their energy. We should be intercepting bustling interstellar radio channels, full of alien traffic, communication, and noise. Or at the very least, we should have found some robotic probes zipping past our solar system by now. But when we actually listen to the cosmos, there is absolutely nothing. Just the cold, empty static of dead space echoing back at our radio telescopes. This unsettling contradiction between high probability and zero evidence is known as the Fermi Paradox. Where is everybody? Are we the first? Or is there some catastrophic barrier stopping life from expanding? Today, we're going to explore the darkest, most terrifying solution to this paradox. A theory that will make you hope we never, ever find anyone out there in the void. Welcome to the chilling reality of the dark forest theory. To understand why we might be doomed, we first need to look at the numbers. Let's take a step back and examine our own cosmic neighborhood. The Milky Way alone contains somewhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars. That is a mind-boggling amount of cosmic real estate. Even if only a tiny, conservative fraction of those stars have rocky, Earth-like planets sitting comfortably in their habitable zones, and if only a tiny fraction of those planets actually manage to spark the incredibly complex chemistry required for life, the math dictates there should still be millions of highly advanced civilizations existing alongside us right now. Our galaxy should be a crowded place. But here is the real kicker that makes the silence so deafening. Humanity is a relatively young, newcomer species. The universe has been around for almost 14 billion years. Our little Earth is only about 4.5 billion years old. If another alien species had evolved and started their technological journey just 1 million years before we did, which is literally just a blink of an eye on the cosmic timescale, their technology would be incomprehensible to us. Using even slow, sub-light speed generation ships, or self-replicating probes, they should have easily conquered and colonized the entire galaxy by now. We shouldn't just be guessing if aliens exist. They should have left massive footprints, star-sized megastructures, or at least some galactic garbage. Yet, despite all of our searching with our most powerful telescopes, everywhere we look, we find absolutely zero trace of them. So, where is everybody? To answer this, scientists proposed a concept called the Great Filter, a theoretical barrier in the evolution of life. It suggests that there is some inevitable, terrifying evolutionary hurdle, an insurmountable barrier that almost no civilization ever manages to pass. The most anxiety-inducing question of our time is simply this: is this filter safely behind us, or is it lurking right in our near future? If the Great Filter is behind us, that is actually fantastic news for humanity. It means that the initial spark of life, turning dead matter into living cells, is incredibly rare. Or perhaps the evolutionary leap from simple bacteria to complex multicellular animals is a freak accident. In this optimistic scenario, our Earth is an astronomically rare miracle, an absolute exception to the rule. It would mean we are the first, the undisputed kings of a mostly empty, dead universe. But what if the filter is ahead of us? That is where the nightmare begins. This scenario implies that life evolves easily and frequently all over the Milky Way. But once any civilization reaches a certain level of technological advancement, they hit an unbreakable wall. Perhaps every intelligent species eventually discovers the immense power of nuclear fission and inevitably presses the big red button, wiping their own civilization out in radioactive fire. Or maybe they engineer artificial superintelligence that quickly decides its biological creators are utterly obsolete. Or they simply exhaust all their planet's resources, triggering a total, inescapable ecological collapse. If true, it means humanity is currently blindly marching toward our own inevitable self-destruction. However, there is a third, far more terrifying possibility about the nature of the Great Filter. What if it isn't a natural disaster or self-inflicted doom? What if the universe is quiet because someone is silencing it? To understand this chilling idea, we must look at a concept known as cosmic sociology, famously explored in modern science fiction. Cosmic sociology treats entire civilizations as single entities, and it is built upon two absolute, undeniable axioms of life. Axiom number 1. Survival is the primary, overarching need of any civilization. Everything else is secondary to staying alive. If a civilization's existence is threatened, it will do whatever it takes to protect itself, no matter the moral cost. Axiom number 2. Civilizations continuously grow, expand, and consume resources over time. It is the nature of life to spread. Just look at our own history. We went from small tribes to sprawling global empires, consuming exponentially more energy. But here is the terrifying catch. While civilizations grow exponentially, the total amount of matter in the universe remains constant. The universe, despite being mind-bogglingly huge, is essentially a finite pie, and everyone is incredibly hungry. In a cosmos with limited resources and infinitely expanding civilizations, sooner or later, borders will inevitably clash. Two alien species, both driven by the absolute need to survive and expand, will eventually covet the exact same star system. It becomes a brutal, zero-sum game. For my civilization to guarantee its survival, your civilization must lose. You might think, why can't we just share? Why can't we form a peaceful galactic federation and sing songs together? It is a beautiful thought. But cosmic sociology introduces another brutal mechanic that makes peace almost impossible. The universe is far too large, and the speed of light is far too slow for anyone to ever truly trust a stranger. This creates a psychological trap that dooms every first contact. It's called the chain of suspicion. Imagine you discover an alien civilization. Can you trust them? Let's say you are Civilization A and you just spotted Civilization B. You must figure out if they are benevolent or malicious. But you can't read their minds and you don't know their culture. Let's assume you are completely peaceful. Do they know that? They might look at you and see a dangerous, expanding threat. And because they might think you're a threat, they might logically launch a preemptive strike just to ensure their own survival. Realizing this terrifying logic, you realize that you must strike first, before they do the math and strike you first. This is an unbreakable psychological loop, a spiral of absolute paranoia that game theorists call the chain of suspicion. On Earth, we break this chain through rapid communication and diplomacy. We talk, we verify, we build trust. But in the cosmos, the sheer scale of the universe makes rapid communication absolutely impossible. If Civilization B is just 10 light-years away, a simple, "Hello, we come in peace," takes a full decade to arrive. And their reply takes another decade. 20 years for a single exchange of greetings. During that time, a society can drastically change. A peaceful democracy could be overthrown by a militaristic dictatorship. The aliens who sent the peaceful reply might not be the same peaceful aliens when the message finally reaches you. Because of this extreme lag, communication does not build trust. It only reveals your exact location to the dark forest. In a universe where survival is the only priority, exposing your coordinates is mathematical suicide. So the only logical, fail-safe option when discovering another civilization is to pull the trigger immediately. But wait, you might ask, what if the alien civilization you spot is extremely primitive? Why not just ignore them or enslave them? Imagine you see a planet filled with cute little aliens who have just figured out how to bang two rocks together to make fire. You are a god compared to them. You could send a fleet of generation ships to peacefully, or not so peacefully, colonize their world. But space is vast. Let's say your fleet will take 1,000 years to cross the void and reach their planet. This introduces the next terrifying axiom of cosmic sociology: the technological explosion. Look at humanity. For about 300,000 years, we basically just hunted, gathered, and lived in caves. Progress was incredibly slow. It took tens of thousands of years just to figure out farming and basic metalwork. But then, human progress went exponential. In the absolute blink of a cosmic eye, we hit the Industrial Revolution. And in just the last 2 centuries, we went from riding horses to splitting atoms and launching ourselves into the stars. Technology does not grow in a straight, predictable line. It explodes upward. Now, apply this logic to those primitive aliens. During the 1,000 years your mighty fleet is traveling through the dark void, that primitive planet isn't just sitting there. By the time your ships finally arrive, those cave-dwelling aliens might have experienced their own technological explosion. The primitives are now thousands of years ahead of you, waiting for your outdated fleet with antimatter cannons and a very bad attitude. In the dark forest, a harmless baby bird today is a hyper-advanced apex predator tomorrow. There is no such thing as a safe neighbor. So, you cannot send a slow fleet. You cannot wait. You must launch an instant, light-speed strike to annihilate them before they explode. This brings us to the core of the nightmare, the ultimate answer to the Fermi Paradox, the dark forest theory. Picture the entire universe as a sprawling, pitch-black forest, thick with ancient, towering trees and creeping shadows. In this forest, every single surviving civilization is an armed hunter, stalking through the trees like a ghost. They must tread incredibly carefully, gently pushing aside branches, trying not to make a single sound or even breathe. Because they know that in this forest, everywhere, hiding in the thick underbrush, are countless other stealthy hunters. If a hunter suddenly spots another life form in the dark, whether it's an innocent baby bird or a terrifying apex predator, they cannot know if it's friendly, and they cannot risk waiting to see if it experiences a technological explosion. There is only one logical, survival-driven thing to do in the dark forest: open fire and eliminate the potential threat. It isn't done out of malice, hatred, or evil. It is just the cold, calculated mathematics of cosmic survival. To highly advanced apex species, wiping out a loud, newly discovered star system is no different than a human stepping on a bug. The ultimate rule of the cosmic game is incredibly simple. To reveal your exact location to the universe is to die. And suddenly, the Fermi Paradox makes perfect, terrifying sense.
The whole universe is in there.
The universe isn't empty at all. It's crowded. It is packed with incredibly advanced, ancient civilizations that are completely, utterly terrified of each other. They are all sitting in the dark, holding their breath, keeping their radios turned off, maintaining absolute silence. Because they know what happens to the loud ones. Which brings us to the tragic, foolish behavior of our own species. For the past century, humanity has been blasting its presence into the void. We sent the Voyager probes, complete with a map to our solar system. We've been transmitting television broadcasts, radar pings, and radio music, creating an ever-expanding sphere of digital noise. Our radio bubble is currently about 200 light-years wide, washing over thousands of star systems completely blindly. In the context of the dark forest, humanity is the equivalent of a toddler wandering blindly through an active war zone, holding a flashlight and singing at the top of our lungs, while heavily armed snipers watch quietly from the bushes. It is a cosmic miracle we haven't been vaporized yet. We are completely exposed, practically begging for a predator to find us. If only there was a way to cloak Earth's cosmic IP address, a shield to hide our data from predatory aliens. While we can't hide Earth just yet, you can hide your personal data in the digital dark forest with today's sponsor, Nebula VPN. Just like the cosmic dark forest, the internet is full of unseen predators, trackers, and hackers looking for easy targets. Nebula VPN acts as your personal cloaking device, wrapping your internet connection in a secure, unbreakable encrypted tunnel. It masks your real IP address, routing it through thousands of servers worldwide, making your digital footprint effectively invisible. Whether you're banking securely or just trying to bypass geo-blocks to watch your favorite Earth shows from Alpha Centauri, protect your digital survival. Go to the link in the description or nebula.com/darkforest to get a huge discount and 2 months free. Thanks to Nebula VPN for supporting our channel. Now, where were we? Ah yes, our impending, unavoidable cosmic doom. So, humanity is currently being incredibly loud and naive. But surely we can't be the only ones who made this mistake, right? Let's imagine a highly advanced, optimistic alien civilization. They don't believe in the dark forest. They believe in unity and progress. They want infinite energy to fuel their utopian society. So they do what any ambitious civilization would do. They build a Dyson sphere. They construct billions of solar panels, entirely enclosing their home star to capture 100% of its immense power. It is a masterpiece of engineering, a beacon of triumph. But in the dark forest, it is the ultimate foolish mistake. By blocking out their star and emitting massive amounts of waste heat, they have effectively lit a giant neon flare in the void. To the hidden predators lurking in the dark, this megastructure screams, here is a highly advanced, expanding threat. The hunters don't bother negotiating. They don't even send a scout. They simply load their ultimate weapon into the chamber. In science fiction, this is often described as a relativistic kill vehicle, or a photoid, a mass accelerated to near the speed of light. It is fired from the shadows, crossing light years of space in total silence. Because it travels near light speed, you literally cannot see it coming. By the time the light of the weapon reaches your telescopes, it is already hitting your planet. The projectile pierces the Dyson sphere like paper and strikes the central star, drastically disrupting its delicate internal pressure. The star is forced into a premature, catastrophic supernova, a brilliant, terrifying explosion of energy. The proud civilization, their utopian planets, and their magnificent megastructure are instantly vaporized into glowing cosmic dust. The hunter doesn't stick around to gloat. They simply pack up their rifle and melt back into the pitch-black shadows. The cosmic forest is quiet once again. One less competitor, one less noisy neighbor to worry about. We are not the only ones to make mistakes, but we are uniquely enthusiastic about it. While others hide, we actively shout into the dark. Scientists call this METI, Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence. For decades, we have deliberately aimed massive satellite dishes at star clusters. The most famous example is the Arecibo Message, broadcast in 1974 from a giant radio telescope nestled in the jungles of Puerto Rico. It was the most powerful radio signal ever beamed into space. It contained a pixelated graphic detailing human DNA, our planetary population, and a literal map pinpointing Earth's exact location in the solar system. We handed over our cosmic IP address on a silver platter. We sent this message toward the M13 star cluster, packed with hundreds of thousands of stars, hoping a friendly neighbor might hear us. But if the dark forest theory is true, we didn't send a greeting card. We sent a highly targeted distress flare to a sniper. That signal is currently traveling at the speed of light. It has already passed countless stars. We can never take it back. And it's not just radio waves. We also sent physical maps. The Voyager probes, launched in the 1970s, carry golden records. These records contain sounds of Earth, greetings in 55 languages, and, incredibly, diagrammed directions back to our home world. We simply assumed that any alien civilization advanced enough to find our probes would naturally be wise, peaceful, and benevolent. We projected our own romanticized, Star Trek-like ideals onto the cosmos, completely ignoring the basic rules of cosmic sociology. This is why many prominent scientists, including the late Stephen Hawking, strongly warned humanity to stop broadcasting our presence immediately. Hawking compared it to Native Americans encountering Christopher Columbus. Historically, when an advanced civilization meets a primitive one, it ends in tragedy. The terrifying reality is that our past naivete might have already doomed us. The cosmic bullet might already be flying towards Earth. If a hostile hunter intercepted the Arecibo Message and fired a relativistic kill vehicle, it would travel through the void at a fraction below the speed of light. This creates a terrifying physics problem. Because the weapon travels almost as fast as the light emitted by its own launch, when we look up at the night sky, everything seems perfectly calm, normal, and beautiful. But the light of the weapon's firing and the weapon itself arrive at almost the exact same millisecond. Our early warning systems would be completely and utterly useless. There is no countdown, no alarms. Down on the surface, humanity would be going about its business, commuting, working, scrolling on phones. Then, suddenly, a brilliant blue second sun would appear in the sky, far brighter than our own. There would be no time to scream, no time to panic, no time to even register what happened. In an instant, our entire blue marble would shatter into a cloud of glowing, lifeless, geometric dust. And just like that, the brief, incredibly loud chapter of human history would be violently erased from the cosmos. This is the unforgiving, mathematical reality of a dark forest universe. There is no second chance. Is there any defense against such an attack? Could we build massive planetary shields or hide in deep underground bunkers? No. When a relativistic weapon shatters your crust or turns your sun into a supernova, no bunker is deep enough to save you. The only true defense, the only viable armor in the cosmic dark forest is absolute silence. But wait, let's flip this terrifying script. What if the dark forest isn't just a chaotic mess of fearful, paranoid hunters? What if there is an actual structure to the silence? A plot twist that changes how we view the vast cosmic void. Some theorists propose the existence of apex civilizations. Think of them not as fearful hunters, but as cosmic gardeners. To a Type 3 civilization on the Kardashev scale, a noisy, aggressively expanding young species isn't a threat. It's a weed. In this view, the dark forest is actually a galactic immune system, and obnoxiously loud planets are treated like a cosmic virus. The instant a planet starts broadcasting and expanding uncontrollably, the immune system deploys antibodies to eradicate the infection. Or consider an even more bizarre twist on the Fermi Paradox, the cosmic truce. A fragile, galactic Mexican standoff. Every advanced civilization has weapons capable of destroying star systems, but using them might reveal their own exact location. So, a silent treaty is formed. A mutually assured destruction pact where nobody speaks and nobody moves. The silence of the night sky isn't empty space. It's the intense, agonizing quiet of a room full of loaded guns. And right into the middle of this tense, ancient standoff wanders humanity, banging a drum kit and blowing party horns. Every single ancient, heavily armed entity in the galaxy slowly turns to look at the obnoxious newcomer. In this scenario, our radio broadcasts aren't just foolish. They are an illegal act of cosmic treason. We are essentially a toddler who just walked into a dark room filled to the ceiling with dynamite, happily lighting a match. And as the tiny flame flares up, it briefly illuminates the terrifying, ancient faces waiting silently in the shadows. Okay, take a deep breath. Before you pack your bags and move to an underground bunker, let's look at the counter-arguments. Because the dark forest theory, while mathematically terrifying, makes some massive assumptions about how advanced life actually behaves. First, let's talk about the finite pie of cosmic resources. Is the universe really that scarce for a Type 3 civilization? A society capable of building Dyson spheres and traveling between galaxies wouldn't need to fight over a tiny, primitive rock like Earth. They could harvest energy directly from black holes, or even synthesize matter from pure energy. To them, we are economically worthless. It would be like a modern human military mobilizing an entire aircraft carrier fleet just to steal an anthill. It makes no sense. Then there is the zoo hypothesis. What if they aren't hiding from us, but rather actively hiding themselves from us? They might view Earth as a protected cosmic nature reserve, a delicate, primitive ecosystem that shouldn't be contaminated by advanced technology. We could simply be a galactic wildlife documentary, with unseen cameras constantly watching our cute, clumsy attempts at space travel. Also, remember the chain of suspicion? Some scientists strongly argue that any civilization smart enough to cross the stars would also be smart enough to invent basic interstellar diplomacy or automated translation protocols to avoid accidental wars. And firing a relativistic kill vehicle isn't exactly cheap. Launching a planet-shattering weapon across the galaxy takes an absurd amount of energy. Why waste your most expensive, highly classified superweapon on a toddler playing with fireworks? You'd just ignore them until they grow up. So, perhaps the universe isn't a dark forest full of ruthless snipers. Perhaps it's just a vast, incredibly sparse ocean. And we are simply sitting on a remote, lonely island waiting for a friendly ship that might take thousands of years to pass by. The truth is, we simply don't know which of these theories is correct.
Good job.
We have a sample size of exactly one. The universe might be a thriving, peaceful Star Trek Federation, or it might be a terrifying, bloodthirsty dark forest. But here is the philosophical reality we must face. We only have one planet, one single, fragile home. Broadcasting our location to the stars is like taking everything humanity has ever built and betting it all at a cosmic casino. Even if there is only a 1% chance that the dark forest theory is real, the gamble is absolutely insane. Think about the risk to reward ratio. What do we actually gain by shouting into the void? Maybe we get a friendly hello or some advanced alien technology. But what do we lose if we are wrong? Absolutely everything. This is why many scientists advocate for SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, rather than actively messaging them. We should be using our massive radio dishes as giant ears, listening closely to the faint, ancient whispers of the cosmos, instead of using them as giant mouths, screaming our exact coordinates to anyone who might be listening in the dark. Humanity needs to grow up. We need to transition from a noisy, naive toddler into a quiet, observant adult. Before we try to join the galactic community, we need to make sure we actually understand the rules of the game. We must survive our own technological adolescence. We must learn to harness our power without destroying ourselves first. If we can do that, and if we can learn to observe the universe quietly from the safety of the shadows, then perhaps one day we will be the ones who are advanced enough to safely break the cosmic silence. Until that day comes, we have a profound choice to make as a species. Do we continue shouting blindly into the dark, risking everything we have ever built and everyone we will ever love just to satisfy our cosmic curiosity? Or do we learn patience? Do we listen, observe, and master the fundamental laws of this terrifying universe first? The dark forest theory changes how we look at the night sky forever. It replaces our innocent wonder with a profound sense of awe and dread. Because those twinkling lights aren't just balls of burning gas. They are distant campfires in a vast, incredibly dangerous wilderness. And hiding in the shadows around those fires might be ancient, beautiful, and absolutely terrifying entities. But there is also a strange, quiet comfort in this theory. It means we are not alone. We have never been alone. Out there, hidden behind cloaking shields and silent radios, might be billions of other minds, looking up at their own skies, feeling the exact same fear and holding on to the exact same hope that someday the forest will be safe. But until that day arrives, maybe it's best to keep our heads down, our fires low, and our radios quiet. Because in the dark forest, silence is survival.
Subscribe.
As always, thanks for watching. If you want to support our journey through the cosmic dark forest, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. You can also get this gorgeous dark forest poster and many other incredibly optimistic science
forget
merch
to like
at our
and
shop.
subscribe.
Or
us create
support
more
us directly on
amazing videos.
Patreon
Check out
to
our
help us make
Patreon
more
and
videos
join the
about our
flock.
impending existential doom. Click the video on screen to learn what happens if a black hole visits Earth. See you next time!